welcome everyone here and online to Unitarian Universalist Church of Roanoke, with a special welcome to those of you who are joining us for the first time. We hope you stay after the service for coffee in the fellowship hall. Let's take a moment to stand or turn and connect with everyone watching at home. For those of you online who wish to share your joys and concerns during the Lifelines portion of the service, please put them in the chat in the next 15 minutes. We acknowledge that our church resides on the traditional lands of the Tutelo and Monacan nations and was later farmed and developed through slave labor. We recognize and respect the ongoing connection to this land by generations of Black and Indigenous people of
fortunate to be a long-standing, mature, healthy congregation, supported and managed by wonderfully competent staff, board members, worship associates, committee members, and volunteers. In order to support our continued well-being during my chemotherapy treatments, the following arrangements have been made. Sunday services. I will be in the pulpit as my treatments allow. The worship associates and I will continue to coordinate all other services. Pastoral care. Reverend Kirk Ballin, Minister Emeritus, will be responsible for providing pastoral care. In that role, he will continue to meet with the caring committee and coordinate with me as needed. He will submit a confidential monthly report to me and to Jill Thompson, board liaison for the caring committee, documenting these activities. Weddings and memorials, Reverend Ballin will also be available to conduct those rites as needed. New members, and he will also be available to speak to prospective members. The minister's discretionary fund will be taken over by Susan Cousins, our office administrator. She'll be authorized to disperse these funds. She will coordinate with me and submit a monthly record to Erica Joyner, Vice President of Finance. And in consultation with me, Jesse McKeon, Director of Lifespan Faith Development, will take over day-to-day supervision of the staff. Staff evaluations will take place as usual in February and March. I remain in contact with staff, board, and worship associates throughout this period. We will make adjustments as needed. Please keep me and Yvette in your thoughts and prayers. In faith, Reverend Walter.
And now our covenant. We commit to supporting each other with respect and direct communication as we work in community to explore spiritual growth and to be a force for good in the world.
Good morning, everybody. Our opening hymn is hymn number 95, and you should have hymnals nearby, and the words will be on the screen. It's a zipper song, so it's the same all the way through with just a word inserted. So I'll yell that out, too, so you have plenty of opportunity to know what you're doing. You stand with us, and we're going to sing There's More Love Somewhere.
for our opening words. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to this community, and to each other. We light our chalice as a symbol of the Unitarian Universalist Church.
May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, O Spirit of life.
And then we have our children's message.
Hello, I'm Jessie. You heard my name earlier. I am the Director of Lifespan Faith Development. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm going to invite up everyone who's young, or if you're young at heart, there's chairs here. There's a floor to sit on. We have a bit of a project this morning. So I'm going to pass around black markers. These are for paper, and we're writing on paper. And I have big, fat paper for us to write on. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to write, or draw if you choose to draw instead, is I want you to think of something. When I say the word love, the first thing that pops in your head. Ready, set, go. You got to make room for everybody. And once you write, scoot back. Ooh, some cool things are popping up. Hearts, red and pink hearts. The word love, help, kindness. All right, the next thing I want you to do is put on there someone that you love. First name that pops in your head. It can be me. It can be my sister. It could be mom. I heard mom shouted out there. Mom is a good one to write down. And we did get some mom, my sister, not my sister, their sister. Me, of course, I'm on there. So now I want you to write down something that you love. Quiet. We all treasure that, don't we? My cat. We're getting some pictures up here. And don't worry, those of you who can't see this, who decided that you weren't young enough to come forward, we'll have this posted up in the lobby for you to see. So the last thing that I want you to put on here is something that you feel is the hardest person or thing in your life to love. It could be homework. Sometimes my sister also gets written down in this part. The cat. Looks like there's some schoolwork going on here. So I have a question for you. Keep writing if you're writing. How did it feel to write the things that popped into your head, to draw the hearts, or to write mom's name down when I asked you something that you loved the most? How did that feel? Was it easy? It was easy to write those things down. Did it feel good to write those things down? Were you kind of proud of those things that you were writing down? Not really. That's fair. How did it feel when I said the thing that's the hardest to love? It was harder to think of. I love your heart for that. Was it comfortable? Did you immediately write down the thing that's the hardest to love, or did you think maybe this is the thing that I can write down that nobody's going to make fun of? That one? Yeah, because I would probably write down something like, because there are people in my life that are hard to love. And there are moments in my life that are hard to love. And sometimes I don't want to write them down. I don't want people to know about them. But if I share them with people, they can help me love those people. They can help me love those situations. All of these people out here, I'm pretty sure they love you guys. That's why they giggle sometimes when I say what you've written out loud. They find you charming. They love you. You guys are super easy to love until you take your shoes off and throw them at people. You're not so easy to love when that happens. But do I still love you? Yeah, absolutely, I still love you. So we're going to go upstairs. We're going to work on our movie a little bit, but we're also going to discuss how we can ask for help loving when it's not so easy to love, because these guys also have a bigger challenge because they are adults, and they're adultier adults than I am. They sometimes have the challenge of teaching us how to love when it's hard. I made up that word, but it's a good one, right? We're going to put this in the lobby and head upstairs and do lots of things. Are you ready? Oh, and you can put your markers back too.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the light of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
A network of mutuality. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Injustice. What?
It's a responsive reading. Sorry. So they respond to the section after the.
What, I'm sorry? Yeah, what?
Right. Number 584.
That's what I'm reading.
Right, and then they re-respond.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, sorry.
My apologies.
Okay. I wondered why it was italicized. Sorry. Shall I start over? A network of mutuality. See, that's why it's mutuality. You're going to help me. I got it. That didn't come through. Okay, thank you. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We're good. There are some things in our social system to which all of us ought to be maladjusted. Hatred and bitterness can never cure the disease of fear. Only love can do that. We must evolve for all human conflict a method which rejects revenge, aggression, and retaliation. The foundation of such love is love. Before it is too late, we must narrow the gaping chasm between our proclamations of peace and our lowly deeds which precipitate and perpetuate war. One day we must come to see that peace is not merely a distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal. We must pursue peaceful ends through peaceful means. On the mountain of despair, a stone of hope. Martin Luther King, Jr.
Good morning, everyone. Let me just start off with thank yous. Thank you to Susan, who in the office, who puts this order of service together and puts up with all of us throwing things at her to do it. Carrie for our music, and Betsy and Sarah for our sound, and James on the video back there, and Jesse, who has gone on, but for the religious education she offers, and to the youth who folded our order of service this morning. So a lot of hands involved, and I hope I didn't forget somebody. Despite all the advances in technology and material resources, these are readings, I'm sorry, that I'm going to share with you. Despite all our advances in technology and material resources, we are not much more advanced in the art of delivering emotionally healthy childhoods than generations before us. The number of breakdowns, inauthentic lives, and broken souls shows no marked signs of decline. we are failing to offer one another tolerable childhoods, not because we are sinful or indifferent, but because we still have so far to go before we know how to master that improbably complicated subject, love. Love is a skill, not an emotion. This comes from the School of Life and Emotional Education by 18 different authors. The second reading comes from James Baldwin's The Fire Next Time. Love takes off the mask that we fear we cannot live without and know we cannot live within. I use the word love here not merely in the personal sense, but as a state of being or a state of grace, not in the infantile American sense of being happy, but in the tough and universal sense of quest and daring and growth. The third reading comes from Thich Nhat Hanh's book, True Love. Understanding someone's suffering is the best gift you can give another person. Understanding is love's other name. If you don't understand, you can't love. And then finally, this comes from the Harvard magazine, Harvard Medicine. Although some 200 kinds of viruses are known to infect, sicken, or kill us, as emergence of the SARS-CoV-2 has most recently hammered home, that's only part of the picture. Viruses also keep us alive. Despite the devastating effects of viral diseases, the viruses that count most in our lives are crucial not in disease, but in health and in all aspects of life. And that's quoting Eugene Koonin, an expert on the genetics of evolution and viruses. Good morning again. And to some extent, I am going to be plagiarizing from my own sermon, Shaving in the Shower, which I delivered back in September of 2023. You might have recognized a couple of those readings that I shared. That's because this is an extension of that sermon as the Article 2 committee moves forward on educating this congregation on the Article 2 revision being considered for adoption by the member congregations of the Unitarian Universalist Association, including the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Roanoke. This revision is taking the previous Article 2, which was the 7 principles, and like various bold flavors, folding those principles into what you see on the screen behind me. It is not doing away with the 7 principles. They are embedded in the dynamic interactions of what you see. And at the heart of this is love. And on February 4th, the Article 2 committee will further explore the dynamics of the relationships of the 6 values to this centrality of love. So this morning, I will primarily be speaking briefly about love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Let's sing that together again. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. And yes, this song from the 1960s is a beautiful example of how culturally we manufacture love as a mask to fit our faces for our particular agendas. None of us here are necessarily against love, but we do have our own convenient definitions and preferences for what love is or love is not, including that it is the answer, or even that love is just sentimental tripe. So much of what is presented as love are masks we wear for our self-serving happiness, an infantile sense, as Baldwin called it. But Baldwin's other comment is that what we need to pay attention to, that he means love in the tough and universal sense of quest and daring and growth. In that sermon, I also quoted from Erich Fromm's book, The Art of Loving, that love is absolutely critical to addressing the basic needs of human nature, and how Baldwin's understanding of love underscores Fromm's assertion. And I further underscored that this is the love that is categorically necessary to take on the great unraveling of humanity and the biosphere. This understanding of love is what the world needs now. No mask of sentimental songs or wishes of dogmas will empower the love as the tough, universal sense of daring and growth that is critically required to address our existential crisis for survival. And no technological advances or scientific understandings that are not guided by this critical love will address this great unraveling. All our solutions require being motivated, directed, and grounded in this tough, universal love for the sustaining of the biosphere and for energizing what Martin Luther King has called this network of mutuality, this interdependent web of existence of which we are a part. To truly give birth to shape to give life to the beloved community that embraces all of us, with us being all human beings and all other manifestations of life on this planet. At the June General Assembly of the Unitarian Universalist Association, the first phase of the two-phase discussion and possible ratification of the revised Article 2 of the UUA bylaws was democratically approved by the UUA congregation's delegates in attendance. It was inspired by exploration of an eighth principle focused on fostering wholeness by building a beloved community, by our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves, in our institutions, and in the world community. This concept was the impetus for the Article 2 revision as you see it. To me, this eighth principle inspired revised version of Article 2 for the UUA is a laser-focused and challenging effort to foster this tough and universal sense of quest and daring growth of love in the understanding and empowerment of love. Understanding and empowerment of love that are served by these 6 values that are listed. These values foster love as the skill humanity needs to survive. The skill that humanity needs to survive. This dynamic relationship of the 6 values in service to love removes love from being various masks of some cultural agendas and self-serving ideologies and puts love center stage as the force for survival. It says that we Unitarian Universalists are called to look at love through the eyes and experiences of values, values that are committed to fostering a beloved community, and to be empowered to put these values in service to this love at the heart of the beloved community. This is the tough, essential, and skillful work we are being called to do as Unitarian Universalists, as human beings in service to addressing the severely unhealthy state of the world human community and the great unraveling of the biosphere of which humanity is an integral part. Addressing this unhealthy unraveling is essential and critical to fostering the beloved community. And without love, it is all for naught. Nobody is born unlovable. When we're born, everybody is lovable. Yet all of us struggle to say and believe that about ourselves or other people. Think about the people you consider lovable. Now think about the kind of people you find unlovable. Why, if each of us is born lovable, do we find ourselves not being loved or not being able to love others? There are, of course, a myriad of reasons we could come up with why we are not being loved and or why we are not able to love others. And therein lies the crux of our challenge as human beings, our challenge as Unitarian Universalists, and the call to our action as Unitarian Universalists. Because it is our inability as individual human beings and as a world community of human beings to love ourselves and others in a healthy way that is putting our survival in jeopardy. Love is the only force that will transform the environment that will sustain human life and the biosphere as a whole. That's why love is at the center of the graphic on this screen. So then, what is this improbably complicated subject of life? If it is so essential to the future of life, including the world human community. Well, that's the point, isn't it? Of making love so central to our survival by making it so critical and essential to our survival. Each of us is being called to intentionally, constantly, daily, consciously, individually, and collectively ask ourselves, what is love? How do I put love into action? For love is but a word if not put into action. Love is but a word if it isn't transforming the world into a healthier place. Love is not simply an emotion. It is the critical skill for healthy human relations and for our relationship with the greater biosphere. And that's what the whole of this graphic is doing. The 6 values help us to focus on how to define love and how to practice love in a way that is transformative in cultivating a healthier world community and biosphere, a truly beloved community. For it isn't simply about including those people whom we already say we love, because that ain't really love as it stands central to this dynamic that is above me. If it's not constantly striving to include the wider circle of humanity, it is not part of this dynamic relationship, this universal sense of quest and daring and growth. Of course, it certainly is loving whom we already love, but it must also be, and this is critical, discovering how to love people with whom we have trouble finding reason to love. Loving the people we disagree with, loving the people who cause us and others harm, loving the oppressed and loving the oppressors, loving those who conduct wars, loving those who are victims of war, loving the homeless, loving the so-called criminals, etc., etc. It is, as Thich Nhat Hanh puts it, understanding someone else's suffering, and someone else is any other human being. And if you don't understand, it makes it very hard to love. Ursula Le Guin, the science fiction author, said once, each of us has our own walls that keep us from learning and understanding how to love all. Walls that prevent the extension of the broader community. Those who build walls are their own prisoners. I'm going to fulfill my proper function in the social organism. I'm going to go unbuild walls. Close quote. That's what's at the heart of the network of mutuality, in the words of Martin Luther King Jr. Walls that prevent the extension of that network of mutuality need to be broken down, and only love can do that, and only love can then build it up as love. Love and only love will break down the walls we have built out of fear that have given opportunities for hate, prejudices, war, and exploitations to grow and to flourish. And love and only love will build the bridges and pathways and communities to genuinely give birth and sustenance to build up the beloved community. Hatred and bitterness can never cure the disease of fear. Only love can do that. We must evolve for all human conflict a method which rejects revenge, aggression, and retaliation. The foundation of that method is love. So, does all of that sound a little too much like pie in the sky? Idealistic thinking, impossible, a dream world? You bet it does. And it's our only possible reality for survival. Whatever your understanding of love is, hug it, embrace it, and now dare to let it grow and to expand. The challenge is to grow your understanding of love every day. The beauty of Unitarian Universalism is that as a denomination, we neither proscribe or prescribe what it means to be religious or not. Unitarian Universalism does not forbid you to believe anything or dictate to you what you have to believe. It is a matter of individual conscience, an awesome personal responsibility, and the locus of accountability is upon us as an individual. And as a congregation that is in membership with other congregations in the UUA, that exercise of responsibility and accountability is through the democratic process of our member congregations. What this process does is not forbid or dictate. Rather, it seeks to help guide us in our efforts to be responsible and accountable as human beings as we seek transformation to heal the world community and the biosphere. So there will never be a dictated Unitarian definition of love that you must abide by. Instead, there is a call to each of us to explore, to be challenged by, to put into action as individuals and as congregations what love is. By whatever means and values you as an individual wish to pursue this is your choice, is your responsibility, and your accountability. By whatever means this community wishes to explore this challenge of being responsible to and accountable for fostering the beloved community, grounded in love and nourished by and guided by the 6 values in service to love, is the call the board of this congregation and the membership of this congregation must heed, hear, embrace, empower, repeatedly put into action within this community, the community at large, the world community, and the community of the biosphere. So it is my hope that as individuals and as a congregation, we will intentionally, mindfully, respectfully, and passionately committed ourselves to asking ourselves what love is, to asking ourselves how we can put love into transformative action and do it. Let this community be a healthy virus, and let each of us be a living, determined body of this healthy virus. And stop by on February 4th when the Article 2 committee continues this discussion. Thank you. think we all know and understand that in order for a community, whether we like it or not, any community in this society we live in depends on financial support. So to the extent that you feel you can help make that happen in this community, and that helps keep this community strong and serving the larger community, please feel what speaks to you to be able to give in support of this community. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Linda Wood, representing the Caring Committee this morning. And part of the covenant of our committee is to share and gather the concerns and joys of this congregation on Sunday morning. So into this sacred space, I bring two concerns. Joan and Wayne Bowen are both recovering from COVID. And Claire English, you might remember she has a new grandbaby, a great grandbaby, born right after Christmas. Her name is Sally. Sally is currently back in the hospital. So Claire asks that we please visualize her newest great-granddaughter thriving and recovering from respiratory issues. And we have two joys. Jessie McEwen, this is her birthday today. She asked that we please not sing to her. We're going to listen to her or not. And Trina Scott had a birthday this week, so two birthday girls. Now, this is your opportunity at this point in the service to come up and light a candle for something that's in your heart. So please take this time to do so.
In the midst
our prayers be heard and our hearts be restored.
Let's all take a moment just to sit in silence and be quiet and be with the thoughts and the love and the challenges that each of us deals with from day to day, knowing that it is the love that we give and the love that we receive which will transform this world we live in. It seems like an immense, overwhelming situation, but we have to start with us. May I who live be true unto my being, one in my thoughts, my words, and every deed. I was born free, an ever-changing river is what I am, and neighbor, so are you. We have the power through laughter, love, and tears to face all fears and live forever free.
It is time for the mission and ministry grant application time again, and the details about how to do that are in your bulletin, or I'm assuming online. If you had brought Day of the Dead pictures and left them, there are some here to be picked up. We want to thank Jesse and the Child's Children for the wonderful breakfast this morning. Although I have to say, by the time I did the breakfast and the book study and got here, I was a little tired. So it was great. That was a great breakfast. And now we have an announcement from Catherine again.
We are so grateful for all the volunteers who make everything happen at this church. It's amazing how much stuff is going on and how many people are working at it. Nevertheless, we have an urgent volunteer need right now, and that is ushering. All right, Judy Nelson, who has been coordinating the ushers heroically, can no longer do it. She's just too busy at work. It's not a hard job to be an usher. It's not a hard job to coordinate the ushers, and yet we find ourselves almost usherless. So I would like to invite each of you, especially if you attend regularly, we're going to try to have a sign-up sheet where you can sign up even if you ushered once a month or once every 2 months. It's an easy job. And we also need someone to coordinate the ushers, which means reminding people that they signed up and being fielded if, for some reason you can't make it. So I really would encourage you all to find it in your hearts to do this. Otherwise, you don't get no program when you walk in, and I guess you just have to throw your money into a bin. Okay, let's not go there. Thank you.
Sorry, Sarah. Our closing music is Draw the Circle Wide. And so we've done this many times before, and you're welcome to sing along. And if you don't know it, the choir is going to sing, and we're going to make a circle around the outside of the room. That's you all, not just us. We're all going to make a circle. So, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Say this word and mean it. This word will become a pebble dropped in a pond with no shoreline, to send ripple upon ripple onward into the universe, to touch every molecule of every being. This word will become the verb that vibrates every sinew of your soul in every breath of your life, spent in covenant with the earth and all its beings. This word will become the act that connects the you to the me, to the I, to the we, to hear the symphony of a beloved community.